The Himalaya offer a vast curriculum of nature, inspiring students of all ages with enduring lessons in science, art, culture, spirituality, leadership, and physical fitness. Woodstock School, founded in 1854, is one of the oldest and most respected boarding schools in Asia. Situated at 7,000 feet above sea level in the North Indian hill station of Mussoorie, Woodstock has promoted Himalayan education for more than 150 years. The significance of Woodstock's location in these majestic mountains is not lost on us. And it's not just the dramatic views which inspire us. Plato in his Republic said that young people should be educated in places of outstanding natural beauty, because the beauty without finds resonance with the beauty of reason within. The challenges of the Himalayas are not only physical, and Himalayan education challenges us in other ways too. There's the possibility of something more profound. As William Blake put it, great things are done when men and mountains meet. A good education has to be underpinned by a clear philosophy and strong values. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has visited Woodstock on several occasions. First in 1959 after he was exiled from Tibet, and most recently in 2012. He spoke with students about the challenges of achieving peace in an interconnected world.
Peace through inner peace. Peace not through weapon, not through force. We are same human being. Future of the world depend on humanity, not Muslim, not Hindu, not Buddhist, not non-believer. It is our common interest. So we have to think about humanity rather than my group, their group, like that. So through education, through awareness, and through education, we're becoming more realistic. So thinking about oneness is the realistic approach. Too much emphasis, differences, too much differences is unrealistic thinking. So the reality and our perception, there is gap. Actually, very purpose of education is to reduce gap, appearance, and reality. Sometimes we religious people, you see, fond, you see, more dignified. I don't like that. I really don't like that. You see, we are same human being. Yeah. You have sort of different emotions. I also have different emotions.
Do you have any goal for before you die?
I think every 7 billion human being, their goal is happy life and meaningful life. So I believe the best way to carry meaningful life is serving other. At least resist harming other. That's a meaningful life.
Woodstock has a long tradition of trekking, camping and experiential education. The Hanifl Centre for Outdoor and Environmental Study opened in 2003 to carry forward Woodstock's legacy of exploring the Himalayas.
The Hanifl Centre is located at 7,000 feet. We are in the Indian Himalaya. We are sitting in a 300-acre wooded campus. The fact that within a 2-minute walk, one gets to see the snow-clad Himalaya, the fact that within a 1-minute walk, you're in a thick forest, allows us to do environmental study classes, nature walks, and because of our location, the access to the treks and hikes are much easier because we're already that much into the mountain.
Mussoorie Writers is an outreach affiliate of Woodstock School, devoted to celebrating the literary heritage and natural history of the Himalaya. Each year, Mussoorie Writers Mountain Festival brings together authors, poets, musicians, photographers, mountaineers and scholars of Himalayan culture. An international event, the Mountain Festival attracts speakers from many different countries, including India, Nepal, Great Britain, Canada, the United States, Australia, and Italy. Eminent writers and mountaineers such as Dr. Charles Clarke share a passion for literature and climbing.
Tibet's Secret Mountain, which is my last book with Chris Bonington, which was a record of some exploration in the eastern Nyeonshan Tangla in Tibet and finding Saser Kangri and going into a very, very remote area. And that was a travelogue book, as it were, that we found had an enormous market when we came back, because we might have come back without having done anything. Everest, the Unclimbed Ridge, which Chris and I wrote in 1982-3, was about tragedy. And we, of course, didn't plan the book before the expedition, because we didn't know that 2 of the 6 of us would be dead and 1 seriously ill, and we came back with our tails between our legs and pretty shattered.
Manolo is a legend amongst rock climbers in the Dolomites.
Non è facile perché è difficile scindere proprio la percentuale di differenza con precisione, perché ci sono molte situazioni in cui è molto più importante la parte fisica, però credo che sia poco intelligente credere che questa sia sufficiente. Anzi, io più passa il tempo, più mi rendo conto che la parte mentale, sia nell'arrampicata e soprattutto nell'alpinismo, è molto più importante. Forse ci si può permettere di avvicinarsi a dei progetti importanti e difficili in condizioni non perfette, ma assolutamente non in condizioni imperfette mentalmente.
Hervé Barmassi is a 4th-generation mountain guide on the Matterhorn.
I think in the alpinism, the mental part is the part that we need when we climb, because on the mountain there is a lot of risk, so you need a lot of concentration. Sure, if you are not so fit for climbing, for mountaineering, it's not possible to go to the 8,000 meter peak or 6,000 meter peaks or in the Alps, but the mental part I think is the most important.
I think that probably be doing some kind of climbing to the extent that I can, probably for as long as I can, as long as I live in some way, and whether that's doing first ascents of 7,500 meter peaks or whether, it's just hiking up a hillside. This is me out here kind of tromping my way across there, hoping this thing won't slide.
Steve Swenson, past president of the American Alpine Club, has ascended dozens of major peaks, including K2 and Everest, without supplemental oxygen. The Mountain Festival features musicians like the Tetsio sisters, performing folk songs of Nagaland. Singer Rekha Bhardwaj gives voice to the eternal call of the mountains. India's most distinguished poet and filmmaker, Gulzar, expresses his love of high places.
लेकिन ये ज़रूर है कि पहाड़ से जाने के बाद बहुत दिन तक पहाड़ से उतर नहीं पाते।
क्या बात।
ज़मीन पर पाँव ही नहीं लगते। अब मसूरी से जाऊंगा तो लगता है मसूरी मेरे साथ मुंबई तक जाएगा, बड़ा मुश्किल है उतरना। अच्छे लगते हैं ये पहाड़ मुझे, अच्छे लगते हैं ये पहाड़ मुझे। चोटियाँ बादलों में उड़ती हैं और पाँव बर्फाब बहते पानी में। चोटियाँ बादलों में उड़ती हैं, पाँव बर्फाब बहते पानी में, कूटते रहते हैं नदियाँ, कितनी संजीदगी से जीते हैं। अच्छे लगते हैं ये पहाड़ मुझे। किस कदर मुस्तकिल मिजाज हैं ये, किस कदर मुस्तकिल मिजाज हैं ये। अच्छे लगते हैं ये पहाड़ मुझे, अच्छे लगते हैं ये पहाड़।
Sankar Sridhar spends most winters in Ladakh, capturing images of frozen landscapes.
I've been going to Ladakh for 15 years now, and in the year 2000, I met a nomad, and that was a time when the government was actively trying to get the nomads back into the mainstream, designating national parks and all of that, getting them out of the Changtang. And there were many who took up the government on its offer to lead sedentary lives. But there was this one guy named Urgen. He later adopted me as his son. He died 2 years ago. And I have traveled extensively across the Changtang with him. Somewhere that love for the mountains that he had rubbed off on me. And before he died, I met him about 6 months before he died. Perhaps he knew that he was going away, so he told me that it was maybe up to me to showcase Ladakh as the fragile environment that it is.
Ishitar Khanna advocates environmental awareness and constructive change in Spiti.
When we first came to Spiti, we found that because Spiti literally opened up to the outside world in the mid-90s. Before that, even Indians going into Spiti needed permits because it's very close to the border of Tibet. So as a result of that, the past 10 years has been a sudden growth in tourism. Now, tourism has a lot of negatives, and if you see most of India and most of the hill stations, you usually just see the negative impacts. And so what we found when we first started working in Spiti was that there are a lot of travelers coming in. We spoke to a lot of them, and they also felt that, we just go monastery to monastery, and there's not really much of the local culture that we really get to see. So that's what gave us the idea, let's start working on homestays. The mountains teach us a lot, right? There's a lot of talk about conquering this mountain and conquering that mountain, but yeah, I think that's a bit pompous to say you can conquer a mountain, really. The mountains have definitely taught me humility.
The Mountain Festival brings together scientists as well as writers and mountaineers. Filmmaker, writer and naturalist Rupin records and documents all aspects of the Himalaya.
The interesting thing about this Mussoorie land or region of ours is that it is one of the critical migration habitats for high altitude species coming from the higher mountains, going down to the plains during the winter months, or for butterflies moving up into the higher mountains for breeding during the summer months. So it's a very important migration path. And the fact that we have this unbroken chain of habitat coming up from Dehradun through Jharipani, Paritibba, coming up to Landau, Mussoorie, and then going across to the Nagtibba Valley, Toptibba on this side, means that it is a perfect habitat in terms of contiguous altitudinal change from the plains into the high mountains. Woodstock is placed in a very unique biozoographic positioning on this knife ridge that is parallel to the plains, with the Ganga and the Yamuna valleys on two ends of the mountains, and the plains to one side and the high peaks of Garhwal on the other side. And so it has this very interesting weather pattern that gives it a lot of rainfall during the monsoon season, and also a daily pattern of wind from the high mountains and the plains. And these winds carry with them pollen and dust coming up from the plains, as well as seed pods from the high mountains.
Especially students who are lucky, privileged enough to be studying in such an environment, it should come naturally to them to just look around. If nothing, just go for a hike and they'll come across 10-15 species. And for students who are studying in other cities, metropolitan cities, that urge to travel and to explore.
Wildlife biologist Rajashi Chakrabarti works for the Worldwide Fund for Nature, India. Pankaj Chandan heads up WWF's project to protect Himalayan wetlands.
There are many areas in Himalayas and especially the Himalayan water bodies which provide an excellent habitat to many migratory species of birds like black-necked cranes and bar-headed goose, which come here in these wetlands and nest there during summers.
The mountain festival concludes with a half-marathon race. The turnaround point is Everest House, one of Mussourie's historic landmarks. Dr. Shekhar Pathak researches the early decades of Himalayan exploration and cartography.
जैसे ही मैं पीछे देखूंगा तो मैं सिर्फ बिल्डिंग नहीं देखूंगा, मैं तकरीबन 200 साल पीछे चला जाऊंगा। 1802 में ग्रेट ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिकल सर्वे की शुरुआत हुई, ग्रेट आर्क के रूप में जिसको जाना जाता है। 1815 में पूरा ये उत्तराखंड का इलाका जो है अंग्रेज़ों के यानी कि ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के अंतर्गत आया। उसके 10 साल के भीतर सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया देहरादून में आ गया और उसके 2-3 साल के भीतर मसूरी को एवरेस्ट ने जो है अपनी ऑब्जर्वेटरी स्थापित की इस हाथी पाँव में।
Lovraj Singh, who has reached the summit of Everest 4 times, was honoured as chief guest at the mountain festival.
इतना बड़ा पीक का जो खोज किया, उसके बाद इसकी कंडीशन ये हाल हो रखा है, तो इसको थोड़ा सा गवर्नमेंट ने इसको ठीक करना चाहिए, जिससे कि आने वाली पीढ़ी जो है इसको देखे कि भाई हाँ सर जॉर्ज एवरेस्ट जो है यहाँ पर रहते थे और यहाँ से उन्होंने काफ़ी चीज़ों का सर्वे किया होगा। तो मेरे ख्याल से ये तो ज़रूरी है, इस चीज़ को करना चाहिए। और एवरेस्ट में भी इतने गार्बेजेस है कि उसको भी हमें साफ़ करना चाहिए। ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है कि मसूरी हाफ मैराथन जो हो रहा है, इससे 2 चीज़ें मेरे ख्याल से काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है, जिसमें एक तो लोगों का हेल्थ बनेगा और लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, फिजिकली तो अच्छा रहेगा ही रहेगा। उसके अलावा ये सर जॉर्ज एवरेस्ट का जो पीछे बंगला दिख रहा है, इससे भी उनको कुछ मैसेज जाएगा।
मुझे बहुत खुशी है इस बात की कि आप 6 बार एवरेस्ट में गए हैं और आपको यहाँ जब आप एवरेस्ट में गए तो उत्तराखंड के परिवेश की आपको याद आई या नहीं?
ये तो याद तो आता ही है क्योंकि अपना होम प्लेस है।
होले ही कहाँ थे गई
तो ये तो होता ही है, थोड़ा सा वो तो रहता ही। पर जब एवरेस्ट में मैं अलग अलग रूट से गया तो ये लगा कि भाई इतना बड़ा चोटी का जो सर्वे हुआ था तो कितना उन्होंने वो उस पर एफर्ट किया होगा, कहाँ कहाँ से उन्होंने उसका एंगल लेके जो है इसका हाइट निकाला होगा। वो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंजिंग था उस ज़माने में।
A leader should be better than his followers in each and every respect. That is number one. Number two, a leader.
Captain M.S. Kohli led the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1964.
The lesson learned from the Himalayas is don't underestimate anything. Sometime when you're going to a small peak, you feel, oh, I've been to 28,700 feet. This mountain is only 21,000 or 19,000. Every mountain is a mountain, and every mountain can be as dangerous as the Mount Everest.
I climb because when I was young, I used to climb a lot in Switzerland, and I just really enjoyed the sense of achievement when you get to the top of a peak.
I just climb because for the fun of it, and I enjoy the view at the top.
Dane, why do we climb?
We climb to explore new areas and develop our inner self.
I'm so happy that I didn't let somebody talk me out of being a climber when I was younger, because a lot of people did. They were afraid that it was dangerous, you know. It kind of promoted a lifestyle that wasn't necessarily something that, you know, other adults in my life thought was something that I should be doing. But, you know, in my heart, I knew that it was something that, you know, I cared about deeply, and sticking with that, I think, is probably one of the best things I ever did.
I climb because it is good exercise to climb up, and when you reach the top, looking down, you can see how much you've accomplished, and also looking out in the distance, seeing the beautiful mountains.
Actually, I started trekking many years ago, maybe over 25 years ago, because my mother used to like doing it, so I started trekking with her. And since then and now, I think then at a subconscious level, now at a conscious level, I feel more spiritually uplifted and closer to nature and to God.
I climb because it frees my mind from school, and I also like the view of nature.
I climb because my dad always climbed, so he taught me from when I was young. And I really enjoy it because I find it both challenging and rewarding to make the top after a hard climb.